Hello, this is Laura Suchan, and you're listening to an Oshawa Museum podcast. Today's topic is the Demill Ladies College. This podcast series aims to actively promote awareness and appreciation of our community's history, highlighting remarkable artifacts, documents, photographs, or even events from our past. We hope you enjoy the podcast. Demill Ladies College in Oshawa, Ontario was founded by Methodist minister Reverend De Mille, who wished to open a female boarding school that would offer Protestant parents an educational alternative to Catholic convent schools for their daughters. De Mille often felt that much of the education of girls, and in particular those educated in convent schools, was useless and would lead to females being ill-prepared to raise good Christian children. Reverend De Mille often said, "What good would it do to have a daughter educated at a fancy academy if she couldn't cook a meal for her family when she was finished?" Alfred Byron De Mille was born in 1832 in New Connection, Ontario. He remained on his family farm until he was 15, at which time he started a hardware business in nearby Shannonville, Ontario. He attended Victoria College in Cobourg for a short period and soon after became a Methodist minister in 1863. De Mille traveled a circuit preaching, and it was during this time that he says he began to give some thought to starting his own school. In 1873, he arrived in Oshawa and sought to bring the school and his vision to life. He requested a $3,000 bonus from the village of Oshawa to purchase the land for his school, and in return, De Mille promised to operate the school for at least 10 years, with 50 students attending a year. De Mille's request for a bonus sparked a great deal of discussion, debate, and even some dissension in town. Ultimately, De Mille was successful in his plea and was granted the bonus on October 6, 1875. Demill Ladies College opened on February 1, 1876, with 80 students. As described in the school calendar, the school was a large and commodious building, supplied with all the modern improvements in heating, lighting, and ventilation. Located in what is today the Park Road, Bloor Street area of Oshawa, the school's 20 acres of land were perched on a hill, giving a commanding view from all sides. Reverend De Mille believed his vision for the college made it the preeminent facility of its kind in the Dominion. He borrowed liberally from the philosophies of Mary Lyon of Mount Holyoke Seminary in Massachusetts and included a minimum entrance age of 16 to ensure girls were prepared to study at this level, low tuition to make education accessible to the most possible females, and the idea of the students performing the domestic chores to keep the cost of tuition and upkeep down. An important component of an education at De Mille was the emphasis on the moral training of the students, a responsibility placed in the capable hands of Mrs. De Mille. Although the school was non-denominational, girls were encouraged and indeed expected to attend religious services of their parents' choosing. There were also strict regulations regarding wardrobe, extracurricular activities, visits from home, and correspondence to ensure the students' focus was kept on developing the mind and not on frivolous items. To further protect the females from demoralizing influences and local gossip, Reverend De Mille insisted all students board at the school. By refusing the day students, De Mille accepted the financial loss as part of the plan to ensure the reputation of his school was protected. At all times, Reverend De Mille assured parents their daughters were surrounded by people of only the highest moral and religious character. Another aspect of the superior education available at De Mille was the emphasis placed on the hiring of good quality teachers. De Mille asserted that even though the tuition was low, he was still able to secure the finest teachers. Several had been educated at Mount Holyoke Seminary, the first of the 7 sister schools, and a leader in female education during the 19th century. Although the excellent teaching staff and good moral environment were important considerations when choosing to send a daughter to a ladies' college, It was the broad scope of the curriculum, which, according to De Mille, was the one feature which made his school unique in the Dominion. De Mille offered study in both academic and collegiate streams, along with a preparatory stream for students who were not yet qualified to study at the collegiate level. Degrees conferred were Mistress of Liberal Arts and Mistress of English Literature. Diplomas were awarded in instrumental music and harmony, vocal music, instrumental music, art, and elocution. Reverend De Mille consistently emphasized the domestic roles the girls would assume upon their graduation, and stressed an education at De Mille would properly prepare girls for this role. He suggested unhappy households were the fault of women because they lacked specific domestic training. He claimed 90% of girls returning home from boarding school were useless. De Mille's idea was to include domestic training at the collegiate level because he felt they complemented one another. As students performed the necessary domestic chores at the college, they were gaining meaningful experience in running a household, and this combined with courses in domestic economy, digestion, food, and health and habits of life, ensured students were adequately prepared to assume their roles in the domestic sphere. The end of Demill Ladies College was foreshadowed in the Ontario Reformer newspaper when it wrote, "It will readily be seen that unless some great and unforeseen calamity befall it, there is a brilliant future in store." For 20 years, the town of Oshawa basked in the outstanding reputation of Demill Ladies College and its excellent curriculum. In April 1896, a fire destroyed the college, while fortunately the students were on Easter break. Said De Mille of the event, "On my return to the college, a scene met my gaze such as I hope to never see again. The institution, which had been almost as much to us as our existence, lay in ruins." Fortunately for the students, De Mille was able to salvage the school year by moving operations to his Toronto facility. Although the town of Oshawa encouraged De Mille to rebuild the school, financial considerations made it more feasible to secure a building already erected. After visiting several cities and towns, De Mille made the decision to move the college to St. Catharines, Ontario, bringing an end to this chapter of Oshawa's educational history. This has been an Oshawa Museum podcast. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other historical video podcasts and subscribe to our channel.